What's up, everyone, and welcome back to Movie Raised.
If you want to film someone looking genuinely terrified, you have to scare the shit out of them. If you want your actors to cry, make them sad. And above else, never tell them what's going on. Frank Capra said these words, and directors have been using them ever since. Seeing an actor's actual reaction to a scene can make an enormous difference when creating an authentic moment. Let's dive into some movie history where actors are not just acting on screen. Watch to see all 10 scenes of actors just being themselves and reacting naturally. Number 1. Susan BACKLINIE, Jaws. One of the truly great and lasting masterpieces that nearly turned you off beach holidays forever. The original first Jaws movie in the 1980s became quickly America's highest-grossing movie of all time. But fans of the movie might not realize just how much crazy stuff happened on the set. It is believed that the first woman attacked in the movie Jaws was screaming in real pain. They strapped the actress into a device below the chest and above the waist to move her around to simulate the shark attack and the wriggling by the great white shark. The problem was the strap and the rigging were so powerful that they hurt her. So those were some real tears produced by the physical pain she went through. Widespread belief says that she also broke several of her ribs while filming the famous scene. Number 2. Riverdale.
This was lost, but now
The teen drama has everything one needs to be fascinated with the series: love, lust, betrayal, and murder. It also has some crazy cliffhangers and sad scenes. With so many heartbreaking moments, such as Fred Andrews' funeral, Riverdale made the screen hard to see through all the tears. After Luke Perry, the actor who portrayed the character, Fred Andrews, died from a stroke back in March 2019. Riverdale paid tribute in an emotional episode. The season 4 premiere is a slow, quiet episode mostly regarded with Fred's death and its effect on the Riverdale world and characters. The scene with his funeral is quite heart-touching and emotional. What makes it even more emotional is knowing the actors weren't acting. These were genuine emotions coming from them. Number 3. Captain Phillips, Tom Hanks.
It's okay. Take your time. Take your time. There's a 2-centimeter laceration.
Strikingly powerful movie with a lead performance by Tom Hanks that is surely one of the best works he ever made. The film's best scene comes at the very end of the movie, and it wasn't even in the script. Most directors would have ended the movie with Phillips being conducted to safety or reunited with his family in the United States. Instead, the film follows Phillips as his rescuers escort him to the ship's infirmary. Phillips is covered in blood, disoriented, and near delirious with shock, and a doctor gently attempts to calm him down as he asks about his family, while the poor Phillips is crying his heart out. Extremely powerful, heartbreaking, and extraordinarily raw, this is a scene a few films have achieved. As Tom Hanks calls the scene, a moment like I've never had making films. Number 4. The Pursuit of Happiness, Will Smith. Based on the extraordinarily true story of a homeless single father, Will Smith stars in the film with his real-life 8-year-old son, Jaden. Smith says he felt very connected to his character because he's a father himself. I laid there with my son and just imagined the sense of failure that you would feel as a parent, you know? And to feel like you're failing like that, says Smith. Actors are often gifted at connecting their own emotions to those of the characters. An actor playing the father of a dying child may start imagining his real-life child's death. From that, you can see the emotional connection Will has with this movie. The best way to see that is the end of the movie, when he does not even know what is going to happen. He receives the great news. He gets the job, and all his problems come to an end. With all that he's been through, the moment he gets the job is one of the best scenes ever made in movie history, leaving Smith with raw emotion in his eyes. Number 5. Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows, Oliver Phelps. The revolutionary book series Harry Potter has been taking the world by storm over the past years. Starting with the death of James and Lily Potter, Harry's parents, and then there's Voldemort's obsession with conquering death and his search for immortality at any price. It is said that the main theme of the book, Harry Potter, is death. If there is one thing that has always defined the Harry Potter franchise, whether it's the books or the movies, it's the comedic antics of Fred and George Weasley, played by the twin brothers Oliver Phelps and James Phelps, the older twin brothers of Ron Weasley. Filming the scene where Fred Weasley dies, Oliver said that he couldn't bear to see his brother James even pretending to be dead, as it felt too real to him. He could only do 5 takes of the scene. Seeing his brother pretending to be dead was emotionally exhausting for him. Number 6. Shelley Duvall, The Shining. Based on Stephen King's novel, Stanley Kubrick's The Shining is considered a horror movie classic. Although the movie varied widely from the plot and character of the source material, it moved into something different, but equally fantastic. The making of the movie is almost as fascinating as the movie itself. The young actress Shelley Duvall went through trauma during the filming of Kubrick's film, facing difficult requests by the director, such as the 127 takes of the baseball bat scene, ending up dehydrated with wounded hands and a dry throat from crying. The 127 takes of that scene and the whole movie itself caused Duvall to lose clumps of hair from the stress of filming. Can you guys imagine what the poor actress went through? It's not surprising she almost considered leaving acting for good after this movie. Number 7. Denzel Washington, Glory. In Edward Zwick's 1989 Civil War film Glory, Denzel Washington plays a very proud slave who was volunteered to fight in the Union Army. With his disobedience, he is having a hard time following the military discipline dictates. But after the order is given, his commanding officer realizes he is essentially having Denzel whipped in the way Denzel has been abused by the slave owners so many times before. You can see Denzel showing that on his face with a fierce display of resistance, giving way to an angry tear when faced with the loss of control. It's not sobbing or even really crying. It's just a solitary, defiant tear. But it's real. Without question, it is the most provocative scene in the movie. Can you imagine how hard it is to be a black actor working for a white director and taking directions on how to be whipped? That's why, when Steven Spielberg made Amistad, he had strict rules about how the black actors portraying slaves were to be treated. Number 8. Manchester by the Sea, Casey Affleck.
That's not true. That's not true. You don't understand. And I don't know what this... I know you understand.
A movie nominated for Best Picture, Best Actor, Best Supporting Actor, Best Supporting Actress, Best Original Screenplay, and Best Actor. With all those nominations, the movie is just pure art. While most films aren't shot in the exact locales where they're set, this one began shooting in its namesake town, Manchester by the Sea. Following a story about a New England man who returns to his seaside hometown to care for his nephew. The scene where Affleck is confronted by his ex-wife, who begs him to talk to her just to open the channel of communication. He tells her that he's fine, that he doesn't want to talk about it over and over again. Even though the words become choked and muted by his own tears, there's clearly more than acting in this scene. Number 9. Stand By Me, Will Wheaton. The classic movie from 1986 is about 4 unique boys wandering into the wilderness in search of a dead body. The most interesting adventure from this movie is the famous train track scene, where the 4 boys, unwilling to go around the massive reservoir, take the risk of crossing the water on train tracks. When the train comes screeching down the tracks, the kids are in a real-life or death situation. The director did his best to bring out the best performances of these young actors. Will Wheaton recalled, "We weren't taking it seriously, and it was hot and it was hard. I remember Rob, the director, yelling at us that we were ruining his movie. We immediately burst into tears. Rob rolled the cameras. It worked. When it was over, I just couldn't stop crying. All the adrenaline, everything was overwhelming. Rob hugged us and thanked us for our good work, and I still couldn't stop crying." Number 10. Glee.
Bury me in satin, lay me down on a bed of roses, sink me in the river.
Glee was 6 seasons of laughter, love, loss, and heartbreak, both on and off screen. Gleeks everywhere are still listening to the show's vivacious tunes and rewatching their favorite episodes. It was quite difficult to watch The Quarterback, the episode in which the show pays its tribute to Corey Monte, who died on July 13, 2013, at the age of 31 from mixed drug toxicity involving drugs and alcohol. The episode took place weeks after Finn's death, which remained unexplained. Creators of the series couldn't leave his sudden disappearance without addressing it. Therefore, the 4th episode of the 5th season was dedicated to Corey. Since he died, Finn also had to die. The episode was about all his friends mourning his death. There were a lot of tears during that episode, and we're sure that none of them were fake. There you have it, guys. These were some movie moments where actors weren't fake crying. What was your favorite scene on the list? Are there any that we missed? Let us know in the comment section below. Make sure you like the video, subscribe, and hit the bell icon for more amazing videos such as this.